has such a depth of things that I want to be able to tell people, but until they sit with me and ask questions or are open to receive the truth, I have to live with things like knowing what it's like to be outside a human body, but outside of the astral body and outside of all those other things. Like when there's people saying, could you imagine having 360 vision? And I'm like, yes, because do you understand that a human or a light manager is something that has no such thing as direction? In a spiritual dimension without shape and form, or a light dimension, you could rather say, you don't have an up, down, left, right, in, out, spin around, any of that kind of stuff. Things aren't directional at that point. That's what people don't understand. They're all pervading. So when you get to that dimension of a spiritual idea, you would have to understand the sense of out of this lifetime, or out of this life, in a spiritual human being, you don't think to yourself, I'm going left, right, up, down this hill. Like say, even as a deer, or as a fish, or as a bird, you're not thinking up, down, left, right. You're just doing. We gave these things direction with speaking the word. And when you start looking at what I mean by what I'm saying here, is that the shape of our words, the vibrational patterns on the scale when we measure our vocal cord readings, or the shape of our mouth and the wind pattern that would come out of it while we speak our wind through our mouth, is actually what first became, in one sense, the human body, the ants, the insects, everything. But in another sense, through our thoughts and words shaping things, they also created more of them, because we're humanagers. We can take the wind and we can make vibrational shapes by moving and whistling and those things cause vibrations in the air. Those vibrations in the air on such a subtle level, spiritual level, they move things. But that's just one direction of spiritual level. They don't have direction. They just have a dimension of movement. And at that point of movement, it doesn't mean any direction. It just means all pervasive. It happens all at once. And I understand what I'm trying to say so deeply, I just wish there were more words to say it. Because without a mouth or lips, there's no direction where the wind would be moving with the human voice. Vital, ongoing, identified, unseen concept expressed, the voice. It's a vital, ongoing, identified concept being expressed. Just like ice is an identified, usually unseen concept expressed, but the word now is just ice, because that's the word. It's identified concept expressed. Hey, that clear water has now turned hard and I can see it. I see expression. I know it sounds weird, but in concept of energy, like I see, that suffix stands for like the in concept of, or in connection, like it's iconic, it's connected to that icon, or it's in the concept of being an icon. Let's say like gigantic, it's in the concept of being a giant. And it's like, it's simple to understand, and there are very few flaws, if any. But those add up mathematically. And then they have shape, they have math, they have movement, and there's a dimension I can't put into any words, and I've seen it, and I live it. And I don't know how I can ever express it to somebody else or anybody else if they don't start trying these practices and learning how plants and animals and minerals do not have direction. We thought up direction, and that's just one level of our physical world. dimension stuff. That kind of, we can put words to it if we want to, but that's just one level of our physical life. The spiritual life has dimensions that aren't of fathomable human mind, but they aren't even of fathomable astral mind. There's something beyond that. And that's why I'm able to talk about everything and give like definitions of words and spellings and because it's all that's all it'll ever be. But that's the magic of it. That's what makes it so wonderful. It is paradise. You just have to learn how to be above, or when I say para, P-A-R, then it's I, but that's like being above through the identified subject being expressed, or being before. Paradise is if you get to have what you want, or get to experience what you've always dreamed of. So it's parid, P-A-R, par, I-D, identified, subject expressed, but D-I the other way around. Like above, P-A-R-A, para, dice. But anyway, and parade, P-par, P-A-R, and then A for active, through D, doorway or dia, and then E, expression. We are on par with this active, defined expression. The parade. It's so weird that words all work that way. And it sounds cool when you say it about words, but when you start saying about people and lives and dates and where they live and how it's always worked out the way it was supposed to until they wake up from it and start using the words right to create it for themselves. They just have to not use lies, and they have to not visualize greed for themselves, and then the world becomes better. But they have to actually have somebody introduce them to the ideas of thinking cleanly. And there is a way to do right and wrong on Earth. And we've been doing a lot of wrong. And if you just think about it for 2 seconds and realize that you are here and you are conscious to think of stuff and to do things right, that's what we're on Earth for. That's why you have bacteria in your body that keeps you alive. That's what we're here to do for Earth. We're here to heal her and heal our Father's broken spirit, for the lack of better words. Anyway, I know a lot of that's confusing from people who haven't heard me talk about it before, but if you've heard me talk about anything before leading up to this, then just ask me and I will show you gladly, because you are me and I am you. You've been me before. You've done this. But in the future of this Earth time space. I know that sounds weird, but it's true. Anyway, until next time, peace.